Smackdown.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is the morning after with Nick and Big J. Welcome to Tuesday. Welcome to the 11th day of March 2025. Happy 311 day to you, Big J.
Oh, it's 311 day?
Yeah. Always, every single day of the year when it's March 11th, it is 311
I
day.
was just all mixed up.
It happens to the bbest of us. Just as long as you're not down in the dumps, then everything's going to be all right. As well as what other 311 songs? I mean, Amber, right? That's a cover, so it doesn't really count. Or does it? No, Amber's an original. I was thinking of the Cure cover that they did for that Adam Sandler movie that everybody liked so much.
I don't know. Sometimes I just think this be turned into a beautiful disaster.
You get it, Big J.
I got it.
And hopefully that is part of the celebration of 311 Day, is you have to try to work in as many 311 song titles into just general conversations as much as possible. That's your way of pretending that you are on the beach just smoking a big fatty and listening to 311. That's what 311 does. You remember when we talked to Nick from 311 and he was just talking about his weed the whole time? You were there?
And his island. Peanut.
Yeah, the island that they grow their weed. I believe 311, one of the many companies that have their own strains that are available for you to purchase if you would like to partake. But that, of course, Big J, is illegal in the state of Idaho. And we don't encourage you to do illegal activities. Agree or disagree?
That's right. Absolutely.
What is legal is listening to the morning after. And today we're going to need your help in selecting a movie for Big J. He wants to do a little streaming dumbass action, which means tonight he wants to watch a movie. He, however, cannot select that movie for himself. That power has been stripped away from him and given to you. And you have to select a movie based on 3 movies that you will hear the descriptions of. That's going to come up here in a few. We also have some Killswitch Engage tickets to give away. That show is now officially less than 1 week away, Big J. Whether you like it or not, that's coming up on St. Patrick's Day on Monday. We're very excited about that. We also have a little fun that we like to call We're Going to Hell. That's going to be part of the action today. You have to defeat me in Pop Culture Smackdown. We got some headlines coming up, so should be a good 311 day. And Big J, I do believe throughout the entire show, you will not hear any 311 unless it's demanded by our listeners, and then maybe you might come in. But we won't dare pretend to understand what's going through their heads at any given moment, will we?
No, we won't. We won't dare.
That doesn't do us any good. I can tell you you're going to hear some Pearl Jam. I know that because I'm about to press the button right now on it. This is Alive here on the morning after with Nick and Big J on the X.
Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the morning after with Nick and Big J.
Didn't get a chance to talk about this yesterday, but want to give a shout out to a great nonprofit that is set up right down the street here from the old radio station. We're talking about Sweet Zola's Candy Shop, Big J. It is right there at 7172 Fairview Avenue, and they have kind of gotten a little bit of attention recently for not such a great reason, which is they're struggling to keep the doors open. Now, if you're not familiar with what Sweet Zola's Candy Shop is it is a wonderful nonprofit that employs disabled adults and helps them transition into adult life by giving them jobs and responsibilities, and it's really, really awesome. And it's more than just a candy shop. They also are a flower shop, and they can deliver things as well here in the Treasure Valley. So it is a wonderful way to support a great bunch of people as well as help keep a nonprofit rocketing and rolling. And they've struggled the last couple of days, so they've started a GoFundMe. The good news was they wanted to raise about $1,500 to keep the doors open. They had a great GoFundMe response over the last couple of days. They've upped that goal to $20,000, Big J, and so far they've raised just a little over $15,000. So things are great. But of course, it's even better if you can swing by and stop by the shop so that they don't have to close down, because one of the big reasons they've been able to stay open, Big J, the last couple of years, they've been given grants to make that happen. Of course, those particular pathways have been shut down fairly recently, and so that's what's struggling to keep the doors open. And so they have an opportunity to maybe do a little bit of a fundraiser almost, if you will, or at least a call to action to get people into the doors. So if you can swing by and pick up some candy or maybe a bouquet or two, maybe make somebody feel great while they are open. That way they keep 100% of the proceeds, not like the GoFundMe works, where, they take a little of a cut, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it would be great to be able to do that. It's a place that I've stopped in several different times, and it is wonderful to see the community step up and help out Sweet Zola's, and hopefully there's an opportunity to keep doing that. So it's right down the street here from the station It's like at Fairview and Curtis almost. So you might want to check it out, or Cole, and check it out and be a part of the fun that is Sweet Zolas. And if you can't do that, then, of course, there is the GoFundMe that you can help out with. Either way, anything that you can do to help out Sweet Zolas would certainly be appreciated. Big J, the Philadelphia 76ers were expected to contend for the Eastern Conference this season after adding Paul George, but instead, they're currently out of the running for the playoffs, and Joel Embiid is out for the season. This has not gone over well with Sixers fans. Now, George and 3 other teammates, of course, were doing things on their day off. They were attending WWE Smackdown at the Wells Fargo Center, which is where they play. When the broadcast showed the 4 players at ringside, what do you think happened?
I'm going to guess they got booed.
Yes, they got booed heavily. And it was a pretty outstanding response to the Sixers players that were in attendance. So at least they have something in common with Santa, because Philly fans also booed him for some unknown reason. But yeah, Paul George has taken the brunt of the responsibility for this team being bad. The fans blamed him for not paying attention and focusing too much on this podcast, so he stopped the podcast. That didn't help. So now they just straight up hate him because they paid a lot of money to get Paul George to Philadelphia, and it has not gone well.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid being out for the season certainly doesn't help, but it's not like they were killing it when he was in there either. So
Well, he's always hurt.
I know.
Always.
They were talking, I saw it's like a crazy stat or something, like he has missed half of his career because of injuries of some kind, which is nuts. So, don't know how Philly fans are going to respond, but it's not great so far, and things aren't going well there in Philadelphia. Big J, you're familiar with Gene Simmons of Kiss, right?
Of Kiss.
Well, Kiss isn't really a thing much anymore, but the Gene Simmons Band is, and he is about to go on a tour across the nation, and he is not leaving the Kiss type of branding behind. He's offering fans a very exclusive opportunity during his upcoming tour. It's called the Ultimate Gene Simmons Experience. Big J, fans can get basically act as his personal assistant and band roadie for the day. That includes us helping with load-in, helping set up the stage, enjoying backstage access, having a meal with Gene, and getting to hang out on stage during the gig. Of course, he's only offering it up to 1 fan per venue, and the price tag, about $12,495. Now, they also get to have one of his autographed Gene Simmons bass guitars at the end of the day. Those run, if you go to his website, anywhere from $6,500 to $7,500.
Yeah.
So that's included in the deal. Of course, it's still a lot of money, but man, Kiss fans love throwing money at Gene Simmons and the band. So
you got to go to kiss.com, though.
No, you got to go to the GeneSimmonsBand.com.
Unfortunately. New thing when Craig comes in. That'll be funny.
I wonder. But he's got 19 dates throughout the U.S. in April and May. Kicks off April 3rd in Anaheim and then wraps up in Houston on May 24th. So there's a lot of opportunity. And we were talking, I'm sure every single one of those will get sold. I am sure of it. Some Kiss fans going to throw down 13 gur to hang out with Gene Simmons at the venue.
No, it'll work.
I know. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your first round of important stuff. It is the X-Rocks.
We're digging deep into the depths of Netflix. It's Streaming Dumbass on the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the Treasure Valley, we need your assistance. We need your help in selecting a movie for Big J to watch tonight. I'm going to give you 3 choices. You're not going to hear the title nor the stars of that movie, at least not yet. You're only going to hear the plot description that was given to us by the streaming platform on which you can find the movie. Sometimes there's a lot of details that go into it. Sometimes there's not a lot of details at all. You have to kind of process that information and decide which one of the movies do you want Big J to watch. Do you think it sounds good? Do you want Big J to spend his time watching maybe a movie that you might be interested in and you want to find out if it's any good or not? That's great. Vote for that movie. If you think it sounds terrible and you want to torture Big J with a bad movie, that's cool too, I guess. Seems a little something that's not very cool, but you know what? It's up to you. We're not here to judge your motivations.
I am.
Only here to ask you to participate. You do so by texting in movie number 1, movie number 2, or movie number 3 to 208-287-1003. That movie that gets the most votes, that's the one that Big J agrees to watch without argument any whatsoever and report back tomorrow and review it for us. Agree or disagree, Big J?
Agreed.
Verbal contract signed. We can move forward. Movie number 1. A struggling photographer is told she'll find true love and career success within the next 5 dates she goes on. With her sister's wedding looming and her family playing matchmaker, her ex soon reappears, throwing her life into chaos. Movie number 2. Growing up in Virginia Beach means life isn't always easy. Add in a difficult diagnosis early in life and things start to look even more bleak, but can it be turned around to become a visionary in the world of fashion and music? Someone sure hopes so. Movie number 3. An interesting acquaintance introduced Owen to a mysterious late-night TV show, a version of a supernatural world beneath their own. When strange things start to happen that make it seem like the TV show is crossing over into his everyday life, Owen starts to question reality. Movie number 1, sick of being single. Movie number 2, sick of being sick. Or movie number 3, sick of really weird things happening. These are your 3 choices. Which movie would you want Big J to watch? Movie number 1, movie number 2, or movie number 3? Text it to 208-287-1003, and we will tabulate the votes. Big J, do any of these sound familiar?
The last one, I think I've come across, but I can't place it.
Okay. Well, it's not up to Big J to select these movies anymore. The power is in your hands. So start texting. We will tabulate the votes and let you know the names of all 3 movies, including the one that Big J will have to watch. That's happening next on the X Rocks.
Life is more than just a read-through.
That's the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Can't Stop here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Have all the votes been tabulated, Big J?
Yeah, they have.
Do we have a clear and decisive winner?
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful. Then let's break down the exciting conclusion of Streaming Dumbass. There were 3 movies to choose from. Which movie got the least amount of votes?
The least amount of votes with only 1 vote. Movie number 1.
Movie number 1 was the romantic comedy of the bunch, Big J, a genre you tend to enjoy. That movie is called Picture This. It stars Simone Ashley and Hero Tiflin. If you think that sounds familiar to you or something that you may want to watch, Picture This is a brand new movie that is available for you to stream on Amazon Prime, and that is where you can find some romantic comedy action, Big J. Maybe you saw it as you were panning through to get to your next Reacher episode. What movie came in second place?
Movie number 2.
Movie number 2 was the movie that I do believe you did want to see at some point, because I remember sitting in the theater and you being interested at the trailer. It's called Piece by Piece, Big J, the Lego movie story of Pharrell Williams. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Snoop Dogg also co-stars in it, but it is streaming now on Peacock. If you do want to watch the movie, Big J, you'll have to do so on your own time. It sounds like you'd be watching movie number 3.
Dude, everybody vote. I mean, it's ridiculous.
All right. The movie is called I Saw the TV Glow. It stars Justice Smith and Jack Haven, and it is available for you to watch on Max. You will be watching that movie. It is fairly critically acclaimed. Some people thought it might have gotten an Oscar nomination. We'll see what Big J thinks about the movie. It is available for you to watch if you have the Max app. You can watch it there. It is by one of the famed movie production companies, Big J, A24. You're familiar with their work?
Yes, of course.
So I Saw the TV Glow is the movie Big J will watch. He will report back tomorrow and let you know if it is worth your damn time or not. If you want to play the home game, that's a movie you want to watch. We will all tune in tomorrow and see if Big J liked it or not. Morning After with Nick and Big J. By the way, we got some important stuff. It's next on the X Rocks.
Important stuff.
What's going on in the news today?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Big J, fair warning. If you are not horny AF, you better get there and quick.
Uh-oh. How come?
Because there's a new study out that found out that a lack of libido is linked to much, much higher risk of death in men.
We have no reason to live anymore.
The analysis came from 20,000 people and found that less frisky fellows were 2/3 more likely to pass away compared to more robust men, Big J. Shockingly, men who didn't have any sex at all were found to have a 72% higher chance of dying.
Probably lack of exercise.
On the other hand, there's no link between a lower sex drive and higher mortality risk in women, so what's up with that then, Big J?
I'm telling you, reason to live.
Based on these results, people are speculating that maintaining sexual interest may be related to positive psychological well-being as well. They specifically mention this particular word in their findings, Big J, which is called akai, and that is the Japanese word for a reason to live. So you nailed it. How does it feel?
Nailed it.
Maybe that's the meaning of life, question mark?
For men.
Yeah, it does not appear to cross gender lines. So yes, you may be right. Which is that the saddest thing you've ever heard, or is it right up there?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it is.
Just
But it's
making sure.
ingrained in our DNA, though. So, clearly.
It's our parents' fault then.
No, whoever created this thing, whether it be evolution or a creator.
You think it's been...
Men are intrinsically, I can't say that word, different than women in that regard. Like, it's on top of our mind constantly.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly not every gentleman.
Right. No,
'cause
yeah,
otherwise-
and then they start. That's when they start to die inside.
Yeah, as long as you're not doing really creepy and awful things because
No,
of
of
it, then-
course, yeah. That doesn't make it okay to do those things.
Okay, just making sure you're not giving that the green light.
Come on.
Steph Curry, Big J, you've heard of him, right?
Yes, of
He's
course.
going back to school, sort of. He signed on to serve as an assistant general manager for the basketball program at his alma mater, Davidson College. He's the first active player in U.S. major professional sports to take an administrative job with an NCAA team. Curry will give guidance to the men's and women's team and is teaming up with his wife and 3 other Davidson College supporters to start a fund for both programs. So, once again, lines continue to be blurred in the world of NIL and how this thing is happening to make the colleges as attractive as they can be to prospective students. And I guess this is just the new normal, and this is okay. 5 years ago, we would go nuts about this.
How long is this going to go on before there's some sort of, entity that is looking over this?
I think maybe the second this is it starts to deem itself as a competitive advantage, then maybe somebody will step in. Right now, it's not like Davidson basketball is a powerhouse. You know what I mean?
Sure, absolutely.
So it could be in the area of they need all the help they can get. Same thing with, we talked about Adrian Wojnarowski doing his thing for St. Bonaventure. It's like, it's not like they're climbing up the charts, scaring everybody with all the stuff they're grabbing because of their NIL money, but it does lead to pathways that other schools couldn't possibly have. There's no way not that anybody else would actually ask for it. It'd be crazier if Steph Curry was like this particular job for, say, Kansas basketball, something he has absolutely no relationship to. But it still is very interesting to me how because really, we all know he's not really doing anything, right? It's just a matter of maybe he'll give a speech or two, and just having his name printed on all that stuff gives you so much credit as a basketball program.
Posts on the social medias.
All that stuff.
Those sort of things.
Yes. And that goes a long way with today's audience. And so it is interesting to me that this is happening, and this is the world that we live in. But hey, best of luck.
I mean, there's no oversight, and it's the wild, wild west, man.
It is very, very strange. Big J, if you are an Iron Maiden fan, you may want to add this to the list. They are going to be celebrating the band's 50th anniversary by releasing Iron Maiden Infinite Dreams, the official visual history. The book will be published this fall by Thames and Hudson, a British publishing company, archiving all of the years of Iron Maiden through the years in picture book form. Big J, I know you're not much of a reader. How about a picture book about Iron Maiden?
I do like picture books.
All right.
Though I feel like this would be a great gift for Jason Drew.
It would definitely be.
Like, we should go in on this together for him.
All right, for Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't listen to this part of the show. Yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't listen to us at all.
Well, no, that's not true. He catches the 9 o'clock hour, but we can definitely do that and then give him a little present for being so good at what he does. And he would like that. So write this down, Big J. Iron Maiden, Infinite Dreams, the official visual history.
It's on the podcast.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We're going to go to hell next on the X Rocks.
Stories that are incredibly f***ed up. Oh man, we're going to hell.
Let's not kid ourselves. I'm going to hell and you know it.
The Morning After with Nick and Big J on 100.3 The X Rocks.
Big J, once again, something has happened that I feel like I have to apologize to all females on behalf of our sex. because there's just gross ass dudes out there doing creepy ass stuff on a fairly regular basis, and none of it is okay, Big J.
Yeah.
But today's story comes to us from Jefferson County, New York City, and it's about Shane Milan. Shane Milan is 53 years old. And for the last 20 plus years, he has been an agent for Border Patrol, Big J. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how can somebody in Jefferson County, New York, work for Border Patrol? It is because...
Border Patrol on the Canadian border?
Nope, he was in charge of the southern border. And one of the things that they have instituted over the last couple of years has been the institution of virtual technology, holding virtual hearings with somebody that wants to cross the border, as opposed to having border agents on the border. Now, sometimes you pop into a booth and you conduct a virtual interview. Specifically, if you are a U.S. citizen or you have a visa that you're already allowed to come across into the United States of America, usually deal with these people so they don't have to be on site. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Saving some money from some time. What makes Shane Milan such a dirtbag, Big J?
Yeah, why is he a scum?
He is a scumbag because basically it has come to light after being charged several times last week with a bunch of different deprivation of rights charges, Big J. Because what would happen is if you were a female and you lined up in Shane's line and part of his virtual hearing, he would demand that he would not let you cross the border unless you expose themselves to him. Does that make sense? He's like, lift up your shirt and I'll let you in to the United States of America.
How does he get away with that?
Well, he did
or
for a
he
very long
thought that
time.
he was getting away with it.
Yeah. Well, it turns out, Big J, there's not a lot of oversight in these particular virtual tours because a lot of these things happened almost 10 years ago, which is a long time. But
they've been doing that for 10 years?
He's been doing it for a really long time.
No, I mean the virtual thing.
Yes,
That's
it appears so.
Impressive.
These were all conducted via Zoom or Skype for a while. Does that make sense?
Skype, probably, yeah.
And so Milan was telling women that basically that he needed to see the tattoo that he could see on their chest for identifiable marks. And almost every woman to a T was like, I don't have a tattoo on my chest. And he's like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to lift up your shirt to prove it.
Oh, wow.
And then the second the ladies would do that, he reportedly would tell them, quote, okay, welcome to the USA. And he did admit that while acting under the color of law as a Border Patrol agent, he willfully deprived multiple victims of their constitutional right to be free of unreasonable searches. And this was a habit of his. As a matter of fact, they found as they went into his internet searches that he did various internet searches for Spanish translations, including phrases like, I will need you to lift your shirt and bra also, and to verify, I will need you to lift your shirt. And these are all things basically he'd been doing to get his kicks for a fairly long time. Yeah, it's not great, is it?
No.
And so finally, a couple of ladies came forward and said, hey, listen, this is not okay. Most people were just like, I'm happy that I'm back. I don't want to put up with the BS. Unfortunately, that's what a lot of things happen when people get treated like this. They feel like it's not worth the trouble or nothing will ever come of things. And here we are 10 years later.
This person can keep me from entering into the country.
Exactly. I want to get back to my family. I don't want to cause trouble. Certainly don't want to spend time in a jail across the border. These are all, it's this, basically this.
The worst of the worst.
Fear that is installed in people to protect themselves is the reason why he got away with it for so long. So he has got court in July where he's facing these charges. He could get up to 2 years in prison and a $200,000 fine. That seems light to me.
That seems not even close to enough.
Right.
It's these individuals who are representing authority that should have the harshest penalties possible for these crimes.
So
because they do the most damage.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And so we will see what ends up happening going forward. We don't have any kind of updates until July. But once again, sorry. I don't think you'll ever hear it by him. So let me apologize for gross people like this guy. Sorry you have to deal with that stuff. It's not okay. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It is the X Rocks. As you are here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Very excited because beginning Monday, we're rolling out a really big, gigantic kind of thing here on the X. And It's a little thing called inflation domination, and we're talking serious money this time around. We like to give away money for you listening to this radio station, and certainly beginning Monday, that's no exception, as we have Dollar Loan Center, our good friends at Dennis Dillon Auto Group, as well as the Advocates Injury Attorneys, all helping us give away $2,025 every single weekday for a pretty solid run.
Every weekday?
Yeah, every
how
weekday.
much?
$2,025. Like the year, Big J. Think of what year it is, and that's how many dollars
you said
we're getting.
thousands.
Yes, $2,025 every single weekday. That is how it's going to roll.
That's
That
a
should
lot, dude.
certainly help with the inflation problems we're having, I think.
For 10 minutes, you want to go buy a carton of eggs?
Yeah, at least it'll get you over that hump. But if you can find them. But, there's some serious money to be thrown around, and we have our way of doing it. And so if you are a member of the X Text Army, that's going to come in handy. Ooh. If not, fret not. You can enter in any particular time. There's a new contest every single day. We'll have 4 keywords a day at 9, 11, 1, and 3. You will listen for those keywords. We will give them to you. You text them in and spell them correctly, and you are qualified. Obviously, the more keywords you text in correctly, the more opportunities you have to have your name drawn out to be the grand prize winner for the $2,025 that we're going to be giving away every single weekday.
How long is this going to go on for?
6 weeks, I believe.
Oh my God!
So yeah,
that's a crap ton of money.
Yeah, it's over $60,000 that we're going to be giving away over the course of that run. So it's an opportunity for you to tune in and win and get a whole bunch of money. So wanted to say a special thank you to Dollar Loan Center, Dennis Dillon Auto Group, and the Advocates Injury Attorneys for helping us out in that particular area. It's always nice when we can up the ante a little bit, and we're able to do that this year for inflation domination. So tune in, because your first keyword will happen Monday at around 9 o'clock, just a little after 9 as a matter of fact. And then you can just continue to listen and text in to get yourself qualified. And next thing you know, hopefully it is you that has won $2,025. It wouldn't suck anyway. How about that?
That'd be awesome.
So inflation domination begins on Monday. We encourage you to listen so that you can win some serious money here on the X. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Important stuff on the way. So is Pop Culture Smackdown. It's the X Rocks.
Here's Newsfeed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Big J, you got a couple of dogs at your house. How good are you at thinking about what your dog is feeling? Like, do you think you can pick that up pretty good?
Yeah, sometimes.
What's the sometimes about it?
Well, I mean, I can't speak dog language.
No.
But I can tell when they're like, hey, dude, we need food.
When they're lying on the ground whining because their food bowl is empty?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that I get. But everybody may not be the expert they think they are. A study from Arizona State University has found that dog owners frequently misinterpret how their pet feels. Human beings are way more likely to think their pet is happy due to something else going on around them. For example, if a dog's tail is wagging while you're in the room, or maybe music is playing, you could assume that the dog either enjoys you or the music, but neither of those could be right. You have to look at what the dog itself is doing or what they're looking at, and maybe they're like behind you is their toy or something like that, and that's really what they're into. So sometimes the situation surrounding the dog is not exactly the best litmus test as to what your dog enjoys. According to researchers, they suggest learning more about your dog's body language and their behavioral cues instead of using the environment for context. Because every dog's personality and their emotional expressions are unique to their dog. Every dog has a personality, and so that makes sense. Just because they're wagging their tail doesn't mean they're happy all the time. Your dog may have a different kind of emotional body language than other dogs do. You understand?
Yeah.
And so there are some things that are universal, but not everything to that extent. So knowing your dog and spending some time with them and getting to know their cues, that's going to really be how you tell how your dog is feeling. But yes, if they're whining because their bowl is empty, then odds are they're probably just a little bit hungry. Big J, do you remember Adam Pac-Man Jones when he played in the NFL?
Yeah, oh yeah, man.
Cincinnati Bengal, longtime player, then transitioned into like MMA, I think, at some point after his career. Well, he says that he cheated on every drug test he ever took during his NFL career.
Great.
He was on Deion Sanders' show, We Got Time today. Jones was asked if he would have been a different player if the NFL had been more lenient on marijuana use back then. And Jones said, well, I mean, I can't say that because I never stopped smoking. I always smoked while I played, after I played, and now. And he said that he cheated on the NFL's testing policy back in the day. People don't know how smart I am, but I could say it now. I don't play anymore. I never used my own pee for a pee test. Not one single time. And Sanders said that it couldn't happen today. And Jones said, dude, they're doing the exact same test. It can happen if you know what you're doing. So he says that people are probably doing it more than you think. And listen, if it's not marijuana, there's probably lots of other things going on that people are also able to cheat the test on. So, Big J, how dirty is the NFL, you think? Is it just filthy with people that cheat?
Probably, yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah, it's a lot at stake.
That's the way you like it. Jason Momoa, now, will play Lobo. Lobo is a very big character in the DC Comics universe. He apparently is no longer Aquaman, but he is the alien mercenary known in comics, and he will make his upcoming debut appearance in the Supergirl movie, World of Tomorrow. That has been confirmed by James Gunn as he shared Momoa's excitement about being cast in the role over text messages yesterday on his social media. And so now I guess that means Lobo's the big bad in the Supergirl movie. Although that I don't know if that could necessarily be the case. Big J, are you familiar with Lobo at all?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him even. Have you seen? I mean, at this point, you probably have seen pictures, right? Since the casting. So, yes, this was a big comic in the 80s. It was one of the ones that I first collected when I started getting into comic books. Aesthetically, it makes sense that Jason Momoa is playing Lobo. The question becomes how zombified they make him look and how alien they make him look and how different, because, you know, he already kind of looks like Lobo and had looked like Lobo when he was Aquaman.
If there's any way that they can transfer Aquaman kind of CGI to Lobo, that'd be great.
You like that?
That'd be perfect.
Yeah, you never know. Just give him a trident, and then nobody will think twice about it. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We got your Pop Culture Smackdown. We got it happening next on the X Rock.
Here's traffic.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
And the Morning After prize package is yours, and it's pretty badass if you beat Nick here in Pop Culture Smackdown. Tour of the old penitentiary. Old State Pen is an extended tour of the hidden cemetery just beyond the prison walls. They're doing this starting on the 15th, and it goes through the 23rd. So if you're interested, check it out and look up Old State Pen, and they will hook it up. We'll also get you squared away for that tour. And Kill Switch Engage, Nick, is coming to town on Monday. They are going to be here for St. Patrick's Day with Kubla Khan TX. And Fit for a King. It's going to be a hell of a show, man. So if you want some metal, here's your chance. Beat Nick and Pop Culture Smackdown. Tickets are yours.
I think it's going to be pretty easy today, Big J. I'm going to be honest.
Why? What's up, man?
Well, I was playing the box office game, and it took me a really, really long time to remember V for Vendetta. And so I'm feeling a little slow today. I got there, but it took me too long.
Yeah, you don't have a chance of that.
Yeah, so I'm not feeling great. So 208-287-1003 if you want this prize package to try to check out some great live music and a really cool exclusive Old Penn Cemetery walk tour. Good luck to everybody, Big J. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Then to the phones we go. Hello, the X.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Morgan.
All right, Morgan, you're up first. Good luck.
What's the name of the school Harry Potter attends? Is it Monsters? Go ahead.
Hogwarts.
There you go. Nice. I was going to give you some options. Nick, this action star feature film debut had him going up against Bruce Lee in the movie The Way of the Dragon.
Chuck Norris?
There you go.
Right.
You got one right. Good job, Nick.
Oh, good.
Morgan, Chuck Norris was the first major action star to take on TV. He starred in this series about a Texas Ranger.
Walker, Texas Ranger.
There you go. Nick, what was the name of the amulet that Doctor Strange wears around his neck? It gives him all his sorcery powers.
Oh, it starts with an A, doesn't it?
I ain't saying nothing.
Oh, you're not going to say nothing?
No.
Amamamacron or something like that. I don't know.
It is not the Amamamacron.
What's it called?
The Agamotto.
It's all gibberish.
The Eye of Agamotto.
Eye of Agamotto. That makes more sense to me. What did you call it originally?
Agamotto?
Agamotto?
I can't pronounce these words.
No. That's good to know. Hey, Morgan, did you know that one, perchance?
I did not.
Then I don't feel bad. But congratulations, you got tickets to the Old Penn Cemetery walking tour. Also going to check out Kill Switch Engage on St. Patrick's Day. Well played, sir. Hang on just one second. We'll get some information from you. That's your Pop Culture Smackdown. We're going to do a run of headlines.
Right.
What?
You were right about it. About Pop Culture Smackdown.
Well, I got one right. I felt better than I thought I was going to do. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We will see you with headlines next on the X-Rocks.
Yes, you are now a better person for knowing this. It's Headlines on the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Headlines are brought to you by Be Our Guest. Happening Friday, 9 o'clock, xrock.com. Lemon Tree in the Grove by Lemon Tree Company want to be our guest and take you there and have a good time. So check out xrock.com at 9 o'clock. That's where you can find $50 to Lemon Tree in the Grove by Lemon Tree Company for just $25. If you haven't checked it out, of course they have fantastic lemonade, but we're talking about great sandwiches as well. Really cool. They offer takeout and delivery, whether you want breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or brunch on the weekends. They have you covered. So go check it out. Of course, the Grove by Lemon Tree at Park Center is really awesome as well. Brand new kind of reimagining of that place. But Lemon Tree is delicious no matter when you want to go. So be our guest this Friday, 9 o'clock. Limited amount of certificates. And when they're gone, they're gone. Il Sugo sold out pretty quickly. This one will as well. Grab them at 9 o'clock at xrock.com and be our guest. Headlines are as follows. Party time, Rover, no, and pay me.
Pay me.
Sounds good to me, my friend. Single mother Katie Powell, Big J, thought she had found love on Tinder. But now she fears that she's been scammed out of 40,000 American dollars.
Uh-oh.
The Oregon woman fell for a man who claimed to be an engineer that was living in Turkey. While the chat started out real hot and steamy, you know how Tinder works, Big J.
No, I don't.
The guy soon started asking for money for some hospital bills. By the time she figured out it was a scam, she said she sent her out $40,000 before she became fed up.
Jeez.
She now has to deliver food for extra cash. She says she curses him every time she goes outdoor dashing, but she has nobody to blame but herself, but she's using this story to warn other people to maybe not fall too fast and pay attention to how much money you're sending off to your boyfriend in Turkey. So that falls. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of code that they unlock to make people go, okay, I'll send you $40,000. You know what I mean? I know it's over time, but still.
Yeah. I mean,
like, I don't know. I'm glad that I'm not wired that way, but it's really strange to me how that even comes up in conversation. I know that they're scammers and they do this for a living and that's what they're looking for, but still, it's like, how do you broach that topic with somebody you meet, period, let alone on Tinder? But you want to go to a movie? No, you want to send me $40,000 for hospital bills? Yeah, sure. What's your Venmo? Party time or Rover? No!
Rover, no!
A Tennessee shooting has an unusual suspect, a dog named Oreo. Police were called to a home at Memphis at 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday and found that a man had been sleeping in his bed when the dog jumped up, got his paw stuck in the firearm by the guy's bed, and ended up pulling the trigger.
No, that's horse crap.
The man's left thigh was grazed by the bullet. Fortunately, he was treated and appears to be in non-critical condition, but you're not buying the story, Big
Does
J?
he have visual proof that this dog paw did this?
I can't say. It's not in the story. I don't know.
He's so full of crap. It's not even funny.
You think he did it to himself?
Yes. And furthermore, I mean, this dude should not be owning a firearm.
I agree. It's irresponsible gun ownership to just leave it like safety off on the nightstand for any dog to jump up there and get its paw stuck. Now, I can see this kind of happening, though. You know what I mean? Jumps up and gets it stuck and then starts shaking it off and the gun goes off. But it should never be in that position, I guess is your point.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I get you want to feel safe and be able to defend your home. And there are proper ways to do it. Just laying it around isn't one of them.
Right. So not good. And I'm not even going to call it bad dog in this situation because I don't think the dog was doing anything wrong.
No.
It's the owner that was doing something
Bad
wrong.
aim on the dog's part.
Wrap it up with party time. A man in the Florida Keys was arrested for DUI after he was found outside of his truck naked, dancing, and smoking pot, or, as it's known in Florida, Wednesday. Deputies say they received calls about a reckless driver and headed out on the road to find him, and they eventually discovered the truck stopped on the shoulder, saw a man wearing nothing but a construction hard hat, and he was dancing to some music. Deputies took him into custody, pulled out a pipe, and tried to smoke some pot while he was pulled into custody. The man was identified as 55-year-old Tim Mahoney, who is from Montgomery,
Mahoney?
New York. Mahoney, he's a good cop. He was charged with DUI, possession of drug equipment, marijuana possession, and resisting an officer without violence. So a reminder, keep your clothes on, everybody, and try to keep yourself as safe as possible. And just don't do anything dumb. But again, in Florida, man, it does something weird to people. I don't know what it is.
It's the one thing.
It's the one thing.
Can't help it.
It'll break your brain. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There are your headlines. You're up to date on everything.
Here's traffic.
That is Daughter here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Big J, movie promotion is a tough gig these days.
Yeah, it's expensive, very expensive, Nick. And so, the guerrilla marketing schemes out there are interesting and fun. And last night, there was one that went down at a LA Clippers game, Nick. Now, a movie coming out this weekend stars Jack Quaid. You can find him in The Boys, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's his thing that really put him on the map.
That is correct.
He's starring in a movie called Novocaine, which looks very interesting about somebody who he can't feel any pain, and then action ensues. And as a result, at the Clippers game, he was seated. He was seated in the first row there, next to his castmate Amber Midthunder. And he's got a cast on, and he looks injured. He looks pretty messed up. Mm-hmm. And throughout the game, it continually gets worse. They do an interview with him on the on-court thing at halftime. And so he's got like one cast on, and the next thing you know, he's got another cast on. And then throughout the game, it just keeps getting worse and worse. He's got a neck brace on, and he's all messed up. And it's just, pretty funny. He put this on his Instagram throughout the night, and it's just pretty damn hilarious. And it's these goofy things to me that I'm like, this is fun. This is what entertainment industry can be when you give it a chance and they do something that is fun. And you're like, what are you doing? Why is this happening?
Yeah, it's like the smile people that used to show up at sporting events in the background, and they just smile real creepily, and you're like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, it's for a horror movie. That makes sense. This appears to be a little bit more of like an action comedy kind of a fun thing, and so I can understand him having a little bit more fun with it, and it looks like an interesting premise behind the movie. We'll see how it does in theaters and see if it makes him a bona fide movie star, Big J. But
yeah,
it takes a lot to lead a movie in the year 2025, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, and especially in this genre that they're doing, the comedy action movie, it's really tough at the box office these days. People like getting that for free or on their streaming.
Yeah,
so
established superstars can't seem to carry it. Ask Ryan Gosling and The Fall Guy, which was considered a bomb by everybody, but we enjoyed it. We like those kind of movies.
Yeah, it's amazing. So,
but we'll see how Novocaine does, and you can check it out on the Instagram and the fun that Jack Quaid had with his injuries that weren't real, of course. Morning
you
After.
never know.
Well, I guess they could be. Morning After with Nick and Big J. We got your bad impressions. They're next on the X Rocks.
Bad impressions.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
you are going to be impressed with Kill Switch Engage happening Monday, St. Patrick's Day at the Revolution Concert House and Event Center with Kubla Khan TX, Fit for a King, and Frozen Zero.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the last part, but either way, these tickets could be yours if you can figure out bad impressions here today. All the clues, get them all. It's a famous person, and boom, you're into the show for free.
208-287-1003. That is our phone number. Bad Impressions gives you 3 clues from Big J, and figure it out, and boom, you're going to the show. All you have to do is call in and get through. So best of luck to everybody involved. Big J, are you ready?
Yeah, man.
To the phones we go. Hello, the X.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man? What's your name?
Sir.
All right, man, you're up first. Good luck.
What are you going to do, brother, when I turn heel?
Hogan.
Yeah.
I guess.
Which
Hang on
Hogan?
1 second.
Which Hogan?
No. No more out of that phone. What were clues 2 and 3 for you, sir?
NWO for life, brother. I didn't have one after that.
Oh, okay. Then why is Hulk Hogan in the news?
This is really interesting and cool. Now, Hogan turned heel way back in the 90s there at with the WCW.
The Hollywood Hogan, of
Hollywood
course, was
Hogan.
his heel persona.
Yes. In 2001, of course, the WCW glory days, they went away. WWE purchased the video library for WCW.
Yes.
And that has now, they have finally gotten around to sharing all that information. There is a YouTube page dedicated just to WCW. So if you want to go back and relive some of the matches and relive some of the events, it is all right there for you. And I got to tell you, it's fun.
Now, I got to admit, I am not much of a wrestling fan as I was, but I grew up on wrestling. I enjoyed it very much, and I have always said that while, Monday Night Nitro and the WWF and then the WWE, the Attitude Era was not something that I watched a whole lot of, because at the time it was like either you were watching WCW or you're watching WWF. Yeah. I was a WCW guy because all the people that I knew were on there. But I will go to my grave and I will say, even though it got away from them and it turned really stupid, the original run of the NWO was one of the coolest things I had ever seen in professional wrestling. It was your favorite guys turning heel, and you didn't know who was going to be part of it. You tuned in every week to find out who was going to turn NWO this week, and it was people you never thought in a billion years would happen. And then the Wolfpack happened, and the red and the white, and then it got a little bit dumb, and it got away from them.
They had factions of their own, which was ridiculous.
But man, in the original run of that stuff was so compelling and entertaining, and soap opera and dumb, but it was everything that you wanted in wrestling. And it was a lot of fun, and they did it right. I wonder how that would play to me as a 47-year-old dude now, and if it would be that interesting. But it was captivating to me in my 20s.
Yeah.
Captivating.
For me, it started with Goldberg. And then I was like, this is so different from anything we've seen. And then that's how I got hooked on WCW. Was just because I'm
the fact that he was in and out so quick?
Yeah, I was like, there's no stupid, fake pins and that sort of thing.
It was kind of like the Ultimate Warrior, though. The Ultimate Warrior did that back in the day, too. He was in and out in like 3 seconds and went nuts, and that was it.
Yeah.
But Goldberg had the streak, and that was the whole thing that was going on at the time. I remember.
Yeah, so if you're interested, you can find it out there, at WCW on YouTube, and enjoy some of the best parts of what was the WCW.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. We wrap up the show next on the X-Rocks. Volbeat by a monster's hand. Wrapping up the Morning After with Nick and Big J here on this Tuesday. Thanks for hanging out with us on 311 Day. Got to play 311 today during the show. That felt good, didn't it, buddy?
Yeah.
You also voted for Big J to watch a movie called I Saw the TV Glow. He will do so tonight on Max and report back tomorrow and let you know if it was definitely worth his time or if it wasn't. And by the way, if you're keeping track at home, we are tied 3 movies apiece so far this year that Big J has approved and Big J has disapproved. So we got a tiebreaker on the line for Streaming Dumbass tonight. Of course, we also had a chance to give away some Killswitch Engage tickets. That will continue tomorrow as we get ready for the big St. Patrick's Day show at the Revolution Concert House and Event Center. And that leaves you with the floor, Big J.
Yeah, Nick, 57% of Americans are lying to their dentist.
No! About what?
That's a great question.
Their marriage, probably.
I don't know, but Aspen Dental found that 60% of the participants want to impress their dentists.
I'm sure it's about flossing and how much they floss and how much they brush your teeth.
I don't really floss.
They can't tell.
Yeah, exactly. Or that you smoke or you're doing something weird. I mean, they know right away. They're looking in your mouth. And it's got to be the toughest job, for the orthodontists and the folks who clean teeth. I mean, it's tough.
Listen, we talk about how gross people are. I can't fathom having to deal with the inside of people's mouths on a regular basis just because the amount of, stuff that, people not brushing their teeth or coming to the dentist right after they eat and God knows what's log jammed in there. You know what I mean? So, you're doing God's work, everybody out there. Thank you for keeping our teeth healthy and clean. We do appreciate it.
I mean, there's no need to lie. Just say, you know what? I'm not doing it.
Yeah, just go listen.
I'm not going to floss.
I haven't flossed since Christ was a kid. I'm not going to start now. So get in there and scrape away
Jesus
while I hold on to this handles of your chair for dear life. Morning After with Nick and Big J. That is it for us. Jason Drew is up next. We will see y'all tomorrow at CX Rocks.